I used to have terrible levels of testosterone. A couple of years ago, I was doing everything to lower my testosterone. I wasn't exercising daily. I was overindulging in instant gratification. I was eating a lot of sugary snacks and junk food which destroyed the testosterone levels. So my diet, my physical health and my mental health were shit. And I also had a big level of anxiety. So I was in the fight or flight mode. I was always feeling that I am in danger 24/7. That is very hard. I used to have hypnophobia. It is when you basically cannot sleep because you are afraid that if you will fall asleep, then you might get attacked in your sleep. And the way that I healed from all of this trauma and anxiety and depression was that I implemented meditation and gratitude journaling into my life. And especially meditation, it changed my life completely. I was way more positive. I was way more aware of my thoughts, that I have this thought, but it is just a thought. And when in periods like I dropped meditation for some time, not exactly drop it, but I didn't give it as much attention I should have been. I was basically meditating for like 3 minutes before I sleep, and that was a big mistake. I kind of lost control of my thoughts. Although I was positive and stuff, I still kind of lost control of my thoughts, which is very important. Why did I have this anxiety? Probably because of some traumatic events in my childhood, when my parents shouted at me, or when I was abused by my grandpa. How can meditation help us to increase our testosterone? It's quite simple. I'll tell you the most simplistic way. It really helps because when you meditate, you lower your cortisol levels also. If you read, cortisol level destroys testosterone levels. So if you lower your cortisol levels, you will have more testosterone. If you have high anxiety levels, your cortisol will always be high, which will basically block the good and healthy production of testosterone levels. Another thing that meditation does, it controls your thoughts. There are thoughts and you're like, oh, when you don't meditate, you basically get this term, you are your thoughts. When you meditate, you try to think that, okay, I am not my thoughts. When you don't meditate, you don't really control your thoughts on a long term. Like, you can't really control your emotions or even your thoughts, but if you don't meditate, you cannot be mindful of them. And if you have more positive thoughts, you will have less cortisol, which will lead to more testosterone. And you might be thinking, but I don't have time to meditate. You don't have to meditate for hours and hours. If you pick like 3 or 5 minutes and you just sit there and try to be mindful of your thoughts, focus on your breath, for example, you will make fantastic progress. You will see the benefits straight away after 2 weeks of implementation. Meditation is very underrated and can increase your life quality a lot, especially your testosterone levels. Your testosterone is the most important hormone in your body as a male. If you have higher testosterone, everything in your life becomes better. Your relationships, business, even your mental health. So it is very important. Meditation only has positive benefits to your life, so you better implement it as soon as possible. As I said, you don't have to overdo it. A couple of minutes a day, you will be completely fine. And also, if you want your testosterone to get to another level, I have a completely free Zoom call. And with the link in the description, you can book a call with me and we can talk about your symptoms of low testosterone and we can skyrocket your testosterone to the next level. Thanks you guys for watching. Do the hard work, especially if you are a pussy.